All right. Well, welcome, welcome. Was thinking of several different things to share with you today. One of them was that one of the great functions of loop of awareness is that it allows you to come home to yourself. So we think of it often as a way to connect, which it truly is, a wonderful way to connect. But it basically allows you to do a friendly pattern interrupt when you're with family, or you're out in public, and things get pretty wild this time of year. And so instead of losing yourself in the trance, particularly when you're at celebrations or you're with family, if you're oscillating, you're circulating your attention, it gives you, you can come home to yourself. You can feel your breathing, you can feel your feet, you can just be with yourself so that you don't get, sucked up into the family dramas. I can remember going to my parents' house, and I remember one time I walked in the door and went straight to the freezer and opened it up and took out the ice cream. It was just like, I immediately got into the family trance, which was kind of hilarious. So rather than fighting, because all of our fear responses can come up pretty strongly. And so I want to really encourage you to let the loop of awareness be your practice through the holidays, because just simply shifting your attention is going to give you a chance to presence. And then when you're in presence, you can choose. So when you're not in fear, you can actually choose. Do I want to continue this conversation? Do I want to say, good to see you, and then turn and, or can I say, I think I'm going to go out and get a little fresh air right now. So but if I'm, like if I were in my trance where I walk right in and put my head in the freezer, uh, I'm outsourcing my presence. And loop of awareness is just so lovely for nourishing yourself. And then what it opens up is the ability to actually connect. So if I'm if I'm present, I can receive the nourishment of connection. So I saw excuse me, I saw on Facebook or Instagram the other day, I saw this great meme about what Vikings do. And what Vikings did, but they're Vikings in all of us. And what Vikings would do before they go into battle is they would become an oak. It was a whole thing. I'm thinking of what the Maoris do with their, with the haka, well, Oaxaca. Anyway, so I wanted to invite you to let yourself just right now, whether you're sitting or standing, I'd like you to let yourself become an oak. So I'd like you to let your roots reach down into the earth and really feel them gripping the earth. Your roots going down, and the tree of you going up, and then letting your loop of awareness be over your head. Don't know if you've ever seen drone pictures of trees and how they communicate with each other, but I would love for you to let your loop of awareness be gathering in all of that wonderful energy that we hardly ever let ourselves be aware of, and let that come through you and down through your roots. And in fact, if you want to stand for a minute to really get the sense of it, if you let yourself root, and then you let your tree limbs come up, and then you can let yourself sway with what happens in life, with the sense of, here I am rooted, and energy is moving through me, and I'm receiving the love that's here and in the universe, and I'm circulating it, and I'm creating more space for me and more space for connection. So I loved that image and wanted to include that in our play today. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is that one of my close friends I was talking to was kind of catching up the other day, and I found out something about him that I didn't know at all. Is that he travels with a sort of a small version of what Canadians would call a tickle trunk. Of he has masks, but he travels with wigs, and I hadn't known this about him. And he was telling me that he was somewhere in kind of redneck territory where a lot of cowboy hats and boots and big belts, and he had gone in there, and this guy came up to him and said, "Are you wearing a wig?" And his response was so wonderful. He said, "Yeah, would you like to try it on?" And it was just this wonderful pattern interrupt. And the guy kind of went, "Yeah." And then they started playing. So for me, that was just such a wonderful story about how play bridges differences and how play is kind of irresistible. So if we put together our ability to shift by using loop of awareness, particularly loop of awareness, feeling, particularly rooting, so that we're not just swept up in whatever's going on around us, but then the invitation to play. So I had this experience of presence, connect, play, but in different ways that play, it affirmed for me that play is the path, and that we get talked into working on things, and that things are hard and we've got to push through and we've got to fight back. But that's actually not how evolution really occurs. That's how we keep ourselves stuck. So when the unexpected happens, which it's going to happen sometime during the holidays here, um, letting yourself have the possibility of responding with play. I want to invite you to, and also if you're likely to get startled when something unexpected happens, and so just even a little bit of your fear melter. So this would be a great time to affirm which of the fear melters is your go-to, which is your one that's easiest for you to access. Because the other thing that happens when we're in fear is we kind of go, "Gah," we get stupid. And so you're going to, where am I, what fear? So right now, let yourself tune into, like, imagine some terrible thing happening to you over the holidays, like you miss your plane, or which I've had that happen actually. And what's your easiest? For me, it's wiggle. And because even if I feel frozen, I can wiggle my toes, and and then the wiggling starts moving, and I get circulation going. So I want you to choose and to get landed in you. Okay, here's my go-to fear melter that I can combine with loop of awareness, and I don't think we realize how quickly you actually can shift. So we know that it can take up to 2 minutes, but it doesn't really have to take 2 minutes, especially if you let yourself move a little bit, you let yourself breathe. So rather than I'm not going to get stuck, I'm not going to get stuck, you are going to get stuck. This, you know, so just take a minute and just kind of go, I am going to get stuck. Yeah. Stuck is going to find me no matter where I go. Some kind of stuck is going to happen. and, and then wiggle. Wiggle. So me, wiggle, hum, breathe. So we can usually remember three things. And if you kind of glue them together, that can be something that you can really draw on. Now, the other thing I want you to draw on is the connection with this community. So we've been gathering together and sharing and looping together for a long time, and I experience this as a reservoir for me. So I come and with even just a few minutes, I feel refreshed and I feel my reservoir filled up again. So if you feeling like, oh God, I'm out in the wilderness, I'd like you to let yourself just loop in to the group, because that energy, the energy of our field together, is real. It's circulating. It's available. I had somebody. I woke up thinking of somebody the other day and contacted them, and they said, "Oh yes, I was just, how that happens. Oh, I was making it. I thought of you." So we think of, I can't connect with somebody unless I can see them, but you're carrying, like I'm carrying all of you, in my heart, and you can tune into that and just go, oh, I have a community. We're playing and loving together, and I can draw on that energy to refresh myself. So I want you to let yourself have that as you're moving around in the world. And also, I plan to be here on Mondays, but there have been some times where we've actually done, our Mondays have been a holiday. And so this time we have plenty of time in between, the different holidays. So I plan to be here next Monday. But, this is a time where people kind of get a little crazy. So you think the holidays are supposed to be so wonderful. And for most people, it's, oh my God, I've got, like you should see my living room, because I've got boxes spread out all over because I haven't managed to do the Christmas tree yet. I've been telling people, because we have a few people coming for Christmas, and I'm saying, I think I'll have it finished by then, but you may have to help me decorate the rest of it. So, like really, I grew up in a family. My mother was entertained a lot. My dad worked for General Motors, and so my mother, was the executive wife, and so she had all of these. She had lists of who she had reciprocated to, and who she owed, and who she'd sent cards to. And so the holidays were like, we all kind of wanted to hide all the way through the holidays, because it was so like, isn't this supposed to be more like contactful and fun? And so so I really invite you also to simplify. So if there's anything that you've been doing, because that's what your family did, or that's what you do, but you're looking at it and you're not getting a whole body yes, this would be a great time to so I've been doing delegating. I've been getting a lot of support because I'm still not quite as mobile. So letting yourself, would you be willing to receive support, so that you're not being a holiday hero and sacrificing yourself for the good of everybody around you? Yes, let's go. Oh, so those are some of the invitations that I wanted to make for you with our loop of awareness. And then we have a great card for you today. So if we can bring the card up, and I'd love for you to tune in, let yourself loop into all of this, the space here, and just any of the looping out and then looping into you, and especially looping around you and over your head. All of that space that you see out there, you have as much space inside as you're seeing out there. And so as you are letting your attention circulate between going into the collage and then coming back into you, I'd like to read this. It's a wonder card. This might be a great thing. To let yourself actually make the That's also a great resource for shifting yourself during this holiday. I wonder how I can grow a nervous system that can handle expanding amounts of positive energy for longer and longer periods of time. Wow. Couple of breaths. I wonder how I can grow a nervous system that can handle expanding amounts of positive energy for longer and longer periods of time. This is sort of the card. When we think about it, if you only had one card, if you're going out someplace or you're going somewhere for the holidays, take this card with you, because this is the card. This is what we're up to, is expanding our nervous system's ability to handle more and more joy, to handle more and more love, to be able to receive more and more support, and to let wonder be our star, to navigate with wonder rather than navigating with hard work and struggle and and fear. So see if you would be willing to let this vastness that you carry inside get all filled up with wonder, with love and possibility. And then that can be your home that you return to, and that you let be your anchor and your tuning fork as you're going through this big transition, as we've just come through the solstice. This is apparently a very big astrological time now too, that big shifts are happening, and I'm experiencing some big positive shifts, some more expansion, and I'm wishing that for all of us, that we're now shifting out of I was thinking about Scrooge and all of those the territories, the Grinch territories, that we're shifting from those into the possibility of letting love navigate. So let's come on back to the big group, and let's take a look at what we have here for our Presence Connect play. So every week I like to share the Presence Connect play. That has been because again, I went to Hawaii for the first time in 3 years, and I hadn't really been around people. I hadn't been around a lot of people for, really since the pandemic. And I found that Presence Connect play really works. And I had wonderful experiences with, people, all of these people that I didn't know, but a real sense of connection and play that occurred, and bringing joy, and people wanting to be around us, which was also really fun, because we're old people now, and so there's a lot of old people go away, but that didn't happen. So I felt very happy about that, because I'm like, I'm not ready to leave yet, please, I'm still here. I can still have fun too. So here are our Presence Connect plays for today. So presence, exploring the 4 pillars of integrity. This is a great time of year to do a little review of the integrity cards. Like, where have I really learned this year? What do I want to give more focus to? What kind of completions do I want to make? I love to take the last couple of weeks of the year to really do all kinds of completions. That's we could do a whole Big Leap Bridge class on that. But if you have something that's coming up in your mind, it's incomplete. And so completing often has to do with one of the integrity moves. And so you might play with incompletions and your integrity cards. So like just incompletions, and then pick a card, and because whatever the card says is going to assist you in completing, because all of the integrity cards are about supporting your wholeness. They're all about recognizing, growing, being nurtured by the integrity moves, because they all will move you more into alignment rather than into the kind of debris that comes from unfinished feelings, things that aren't completed, things that aren't communicated. So this would be a great week to focus on that. And then connect. says create hmm. So this one is really great for being with others. So if you add hmm to your loop of awareness, it's a really quick shift move. The hmm literally opens you to wonder. It moves you from your critical brain into your wonder brain. Now, it may not be a permanent shift, but it is a very reliable shift. So, in fact, you might find that the pitch of your has shifted. Sometimes mine, if I'm feeling more depleted, I notice that my is lower. I get a and I can feel it vibrating in different parts of my body. And then when I'm feeling more expanded, but the has more of an upward lilt, but they're all powerful and they can all assist you in enjoying wonder. Because criticism, I learned and I was told, and I think this is what adults say, is that I want to tell you something for your own good. And you know what's going to follow that is some criticism. And so we've learned, like, I wouldn't be saying this unless I cared about you. And we think that criticism works. But I want to tell you, I'm here to tell you that criticism doesn't work. Criticism just makes us more contracted, more trying to fit in to somebody else's idea about us. So when you find yourself criticizing, I'm willing to grow a nervous system. You can just and even if you're not doing it with your body, you can do it inside, the becoming an oak and letting your loop of awareness shift. And that kind of invisible stuff is really powerful. It'd be a great thing to try out if you're at a social gathering and just notice what happens to the quality of your interactions with others. To get the genuine connection of the nourishment of being with and letting yourself receive the energy of other people. And then play. Oh, this is also a great one. In our work, the basic toss, one of the things that we found is that to keep a conversation going, one of the best things that you can say is, tell me more. Now, the inclination would be to say, that's not right, or I don't agree, or where's your research? Instead of, you can add in the, tell me more. And I have found that is irresistible for people, because if someone's going, and you go, tell me more, it is really like you want to try on the wig. It's a little bit of a, wait a minute, you're not going to argue with me, you're not going to try and do a power over. So and I've really learned a lot, because often if there's a kerfuffle, I don't have enough information to really, my judgment comes from wherever it comes from. But if I say, tell me more, then I get a sense of what this person's experience is. And I can go, oh, and then I have the connection. And then we can really meet, and have that moment of genuine play together that is really, in my opinion, what it's all about. And I love that we've got a train. I love trains, and so I love that we're getting to go on a train trip with you while we're on this call. So lots of things to play with, and even if you don't celebrate or you're having people over, this is a great time to let yourself be a gift. Let your presence be a gift. And first to you, like, what is one of the most nurturing things that you could do that will really fill you? For me, it's music. There's certain music that I really love, and I can feel myself becoming the music. T.S. Eliot said, you are the music while the music lasts. And I love becoming the music and find that so filling for me. So taking a walk, being cooking. Sometimes people find that just very, very nurturing. So I'd love for you to take really, really good care of yourself and let other people take care of you, so that you're not, I got it. I don't need anything. I'm fine. You're practicing I'm fine. So I've been getting much better at that. Could you go and get that? Could you put this over here? So I want to invite you to let yourself be a gift. And I appreciate so much how you are a gift. Here we are sharing with each other. And I love and appreciate this time together, and love and appreciate you. So let yourself take that in, have some yum, yum, yum. And let's do a here I am. And I'm so glad. Love being in the here we are, here I am, and I'm so glad. Ah, yum. All right. I look forward to seeing you next time, and please stay and share. And so until next week, be well. Mwah.
Merry
Thank you, Katie.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.